So gapping your spark plugs. Your plugs come with a gap in them, and that means the distance between right here, the electrode, the center electrode and the side electrode. There's a little gap right here where my fingernail is going in, and you can get a gapping tool and you can measure and see how big that gap is. Here's a gapping tool that I got a long time ago, and I think that one is 40 thousandths. And so you check them. People will say, you don't have to gap them anymore. They come from the factory pre-gapped, and they're very accurate and very good. And other people will probably say, no. Don't trust the gap from the factory. Test them all and make sure that they are what they say they are. If they aren't, then what you do is you put, let's see, this guy, I'm trying to do this looking through my camera. So you put this in here and you can bend it down or you can bend it back with this tool here that's on the side of the gapper. There's this style of spark plug gapper or gap checking tool. There's this style here that has a bunch of them in this area like this that you run through to test. And then here's the bending part, the part that you put here to bend that side electrode up or down the ground. There's also one they sell, which I don't have, that's round. It's like a coin, and there's a ramp built into the coin, and that's pretty cool. I haven't tried that one, but that seems to be the most common. At any rate, you might want to check these. You can also line all 4 or 6 or 8 of your plugs up side by side and see that they're identical to your eye. If you believe, no, I'm not going to check the gaps. I believe that they are gapped at the factory and they're all very good. Line them up just to make sure that one of them isn't smashed down because it was dropped. If you drop a plug and you don't know how it hit, then you probably for sure want to gap your plug. And so these gapping tools are a few dollars. So you might run into a situation where here's a coil and a spark plug. You run into a situation where you pull this out and the rubber booty is torn off the coil and it stays on the spark plug. It's actually, by the heat from the engine over 100,000 miles, it's vulcanized itself onto the spark plug. And now you're in trouble because there's a rubber booty here. This is down inside of a tube, and you cannot get the spark plug out because this won't fit over. The rubber booty is on here. So what I suggest you do is try to take a coat hanger or something, make yourself a hook like this, reach down in there, go around it a little bit, and just tear it off. It should come off. The plug itself may be hard to get out, and that's because the threads have corrosion, have some kind of trouble. So once you get this plug out, what you may want to do with the new plugs is use some of this, the good old Never Seez. This stuff is, I bought this can 30 years ago at a garage sale. I think I paid 50 cents for it, and that's all. I'm not even halfway done with this can, so you hardly need any. But I punched a hole in the top, I put a paintbrush in there, and you just take a little like this and put a dab on, a couple of dabs on. That's going to be enough because it'll smear itself around as you put it in. You might even want to say, all right, let me smear it around a little bit here, like so. And this will keep the metal, one piece of metal, from galling the other piece. There, that looks good. There's not much on there. There are some people that I think that say that this prevents the spark plug from cooling because it insulates it, or that it cools it too much. I think that could be a good idea. Maybe you disagree, but this stuff is good for all this sort of thing. any nut or bolt that you feel like you're going to have trouble in the future taking out because of this situation. Put a very light smear, not much. That's plenty. The other thing is, to keep that rubber boot from sticking in the future, you could use some dielectric grease. Sometimes even when you get spark plugs or when you get a coil like this, there'll be a little packet. It looks like a little mustard packet that you would get at a Chinese restaurant. And there's some of this clear dielectric grease in, and you just put a little bit on your fingers and wipe it on the insulator here where that boot grabs. Some people put it on the electrode, but just wipe it on here. That'll keep that rubber boot from sticking over time. So those two things. The last thing I suggest is, this can really save your bacon. This is just a magnetic pickup tool. If you drop the plug down in the hole and it won't come out, or you drop a nut or a bolt or anything else that's ferrous, this will go down and pull it out. This is great if you drop something down behind the engine and you need to get it out. I totally suggest getting the magnetic pickup tool. It's good to get this before this happens so that you're not stuck with a car that doesn't run and a bolt that you can't get out. This other one I keep around, I haven't used it in a while, but it has this pull, this presser deal, and then these guys here, they go, and then when you release it, they grab. These are pretty cool. You can use it to grab parts that are not ferrous, that a magnet wouldn't attract, like for example, a piece of wood or plastic or something. I don't use these very much. It seems like everything I need to grab out of an engine I can get with this guy. I'm always dropping sockets down where I can't quite grab them with my hand, so this is a cool thing. And that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.